Hey Fight fans, I'm Sarah Davis and you're watching Fight News Now Extra. I hope you had a great weekend. Coming up next, we're looking at the latest newsmakers as Belfort-Bisping rumors continue and Dana White is upset with another controversial decision. Our MMA panel will be on to chat about all of it, so let's get started. So we went into the weekend with rumors swirling about a possible matchup between Vitor Belfort and Michael Bisping. It would co-headline UFC 156 this January in Brazil, but nothing has been confirmed by the UFC, and both fighters even took to Twitter to say nothing has been signed yet. The latest episode of The Ultimate Fighter had Dana White fuming. A controversial win for Team Nelson led to Dana White tearing apart the kind of judging that took place, and he even ripped the fighters for putting on a boring bout. White went as far to say to the fighters that they would not be on the finale if they're going to fight like they did on Friday night. And with Ronda Rousey's star on the rise, that means she has the potential to make lots of money, and we all know that's something Dana White loves. He's talked about bringing women's MMA into the UFC, and if he does, this will turn out to be one of the biggest leaps for women's sports, as the female athletes would be competing on the exact same platform as the men. Those are the latest headlines coming out of the weekend. Now let's turn it over to our panel of John Pollock and John Ramdine. And guys, what do you think? Belfort and Bisping, is it going to happen or what?
My guess, Sarah, is yes. It will happen in Brazil. And I think it's going to be a big win for Michael Bisping. I am going to jump the gun here, and this will be Michael Bisping's gateway to a middleweight title shot.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, this is what the UFC wants. They want for these fighters and the fans to dictate which fights are going to be seen. And if the fans are rallying behind a Michael Bisping, Vitor Belfort fight, the UFC will take responsibility and they will make this fight happen. And, of course, this fight is very relevant to the 185-pound division, so it all makes sense.
I think that Belfort and Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, all of their fights from here on out, they should be in Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, sure,
There's
why
no
not?
value to putting those guys in Vegas or anywhere other than Brazil at this point, in my opinion.
You mean besides selling tickets to the venue that's... No,
they mean their most in Brazil.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, but the fact is that people want to see Minotauro live. They want to see guys like Vitor Belfort fight live.
Too bad. You had your opportunity. The guy's been fighting for decades, and you missed out on your opportunity.
You're right.
You know who missed out on his opportunity to be a great referee? Jerry Poe on Friday night at Bellator 78. Mariusz Zaromskis taking what I counted 11 unanswered shots from Andrei Koreshkov. I thought this was disgusting, and I applaud Jimmy Smith for being as vocal as he was on the broadcast. This was terrible. This was reminiscent of Pat Kerr and Joe Warren earlier this year at Bellator 60.
I agree with you. I agree with Jimmy Smith. But you also, I mean, you look at Mariusz Zaromskis, he was not completely out. And I know it should be the referee's responsibility to step in and stop the punishment. But Mariusz,
intelligent defense.
Yes, it is. That's what it comes down to. And everybody has to get on the same page because, unfortunately, for a lot of fighters, they might have been able to recover from a couple of shots like that. I know Koreshkov was hitting Zaromskis with everything that he had, but everybody just has to get on the same page. And we heard Matt Hughes on the MMA Hour talking to Ariel Helwani, and it's guys like Matt Hughes. He wants to go out there like so many other fighters and start teaching the proper judging criteria. Matt Hughes has been a judge and a referee, and I think he will be instrumental with the development of helping this.
I've always been someone that I would much rather a fight end too early than too late. I thought it was extremely late on Friday, and those are the kind of finishes that, to me, for Mariusz Zaromskis, that are going to be affecting him in later years, and that's the stuff we're not going to see. Yeah, Mariusz Zaromskis gets up at the end. I have no doubt the guy suffered a concussion from that, and I thought it was unnecessary. It was a really ugly spot of Friday night show.
The problem is there's a disconnect between fans and the fighters would say sometimes that they would almost rather a fight be stopped too late because
they say that right now, but I guarantee you, John, you poll these guys at the age of 50 when they're not making money and suddenly wonder, you know what, some of those fights I took, maybe that wasn't the wisest idea.
The bottom line is, though, a lot of these guys have mortgages to pay and they're willing to take a couple extra punches to the face to make sure that their mortgages get paid.
Well, that's a sobering thought. Lyman Good also advancing to the finals of the welterweight tournament. He will meet Koreshkov, stopping Mikhail Sarov in the second round.
Yeah, Lyman Good looked fantastic. Koreshkov looked fantastic, and this is going to be a real solid final. Both guys match up very well, and I think they're going to deliver for the fans. It's going to be a stand-up battle, but both guys have skills in all areas. So it's a very exciting time for Bellator.
Do either of these guys right now present a legitimate threat to champion Ben Askren at this point? Because he's just been such a dominant champion for them with that wrestling foundation. Do either of these guys, does one favor the other in your opinion against Askren?
I like Lyman Good, number one, because he faced Ben Askren in the past. And
True.
not only that, we know that Ben Askren likes to take guys down to the ground. And for Lyman Good, he's been honing his jiu-jitsu skills with the best jiu-jitsu practitioner in the world, and Marcelo Garcia. So I think he'll be prepared if the fight does go down to the ground and Ben Askren wants to play that grinding style where he stays on top. I think Lyman Good, with his physical abilities and his jiu-jitsu background, maybe he'll be able to pull something out.
And how about Daniel Strauss as well on that card? This was pretty much just a keep me busy style of fight before he can fight Pat Curran next year when they move to Spike. Looking fantastic and showing off some submission prowess.
Yeah, I mean, not just that. I mean, he submitted a Hoist Gracie black belt. He looked very, very good on top. He was exciting, and we've heard him say in the past that he almost uses it as a badge of honor to go the full distance, whether it's 15 or 25 minutes, proving to himself that he has what it takes. But he understands now, I think this is a fan-friendly sport, and the way you get more fans is by finishing fights, and Daniel Strauss did a tremendous job on Friday.
Yes, excellent performance. Bellator 79. This Friday, we're going to be there. Casino Rama. Back to you, Miss Davis.
Yeah.
Bellator 79, it's in the air.
You know it. I can smell it.
It's beautiful.
And coming up this Saturday night on Fight Network, we'll be bringing you the live broadcast of World Series Fighting's inaugural event featuring Andrei Arlovsky and Devin Cole from Las Vegas. It'll get underway at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And stay with us right here on Fight Network because there's more Fight News Now Extra coming up next.